Woo! We're almost done, friends. We have almost made it to the end. But I'm almost the most excited about this one because if we're talking social media and we're doing a collab and we're not talking about TikTok, we totally missed the boat. And I got to tell you, this guy who's going to come on, Scott Betley, first of all, he's a brand new father, like new. So we'll joke about that because he's a bold man for coming on here with a baby somewhere in the house. But I've been poking around on TikTok because humans are on TikTok, and I'm like, what's going on there? And holy crap, somebody figured it out in the mortgage space. And I started to realize there's something here. And this is going right down to the line, guys, of there's an audience for everybody. Get ready. Let's talk to Scott Betley about TikTok. All right, friends and professionals, our next topic, TikTok. You cannot have a social media collab event without talking about the hottest new platform out there. And this guy Scott Betley, cracked it at The Mortgage Guy. Somehow the algorithm likes you, likes your community, likes your fun, likes your creativity, and man, he hit it. And this is my point. There are so many more ways to customer there. Let's go explore what Scott's doing on TikTok to change his career. Woo! What's up, Scott?
How you doing?
Dude, so good to see you. I feel like I know you and your house because I see you on TikTok all the time now.
For so long, I feel like all my content's in my house now. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, it's awesome, dude. So let's break this down for everybody that's hanging on to the end because they knew TikTok was coming. It's a scary platform. It's a bunch of underage girls dancing to silly songs.
Yes.
And then you've got Scott Betley dominating the mortgage space. So let's start with some stats, dude. How many followers you got on TikTok?
I think I'm around 135K right now.
135,000. How many views have you got?
I think I'm averaging like 7 to 8 million views a week.
See ya, guys. Thanks for being a part of the collab. We're just gonna no. Are you like? This is what blew my mind. So Scott, I started to search for hashtags, search for stuff, seeing who's on there in mortgage, and then all of a sudden I was like, holy crap! And then I looked at your page and I was like, oh, holy crap! And then I went one step further and I tell everybody this. I started looking at your comments.
Yeah,
that to me is what I'm curious about. Views and stuff are good, but comments are interesting. And then I was like, holy crap! There's people that want mortgage information.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So let's talk about this. Not only you're rocking my world and my mind on this, but it just further validates for me that there are more paths to the consumer than ever before. Why did you get on TikTok?
It was primarily because of Gary Vee. I listened to his podcast daily, and I was in my home gym, I think in like November or October of last year, and he was raving about TikTok and the organic reach and how, it's in its infancy. And I was like, I'll try it. And then I was like 30 videos in, just kind of dabbling. And then I think it was like my 31st or 32nd video or something like that. And it got like 300,000 or 400,000 views overnight. I was like, wow, this is legit. And I was having so many people reach out through, how do I do this? Who do I call? How can I get in contact with you? I was like, wow, I could really use this as a platform. And that was the start of it, really. But all from Gary Vee.
So people forget, like, on this platform of how to leverage it and how to use it. Describe TikTok as a platform. Like, if someone asks, like, what is it? What's happening there? Let's. I have my own opinion, but someone who's actually like killing it there. Like, what's your opinion of this platform? What are people using it for?
It's very similar to Vine. It was Musical.ly, but it's essentially like Instagram with all video content. It's short, sweet, up to a minute video. And the premise with the platform is there's a lot of trending songs and music and skits and trends that are happening. And if you can tap into that stuff, that's really where you can benefit the most.
Yeah. So Scott, what people don't understand is that there's people on that platform making jokes, making memes, doing dances, doing skits. And then people are ripping off those skits and putting their own twist on it, taking the same music, doing it differently themselves a little bit. Yeah. And then you're doing it, but you're doing it with mortgage content. Like I know you cringed a little bit there, but like this is the power of this. Like, you're doing it with like, how much down payment can I afford, or like, can I buy a house with zero down? And like, you're doing this silly skits these other people are doing. Yeah, but it's mortgage related.
Yeah, honestly, man, I never thought that it would catch on like it has. I was like, I mean, because mortgages, they're not fancy, they're not too fun, but yeah, it's been very, very cool to see. for sure.
Well, and this is one of the themes I want to talk about. When you decide to start making content on there, you're not making what I would consider traditional mortgage content. There are people on that platform who are doing what I would call traditional mortgage content.
Right.
They're explaining debt to income. They're not speaking in the voice of the platform.
Right. And the context of it. Right.
And the context of it. So you started doing it, and all of a sudden you're getting 300,000 to 400,000 views. This is a stupid question, but how has it changed your business?
It's blown it up. Honestly, I just got licensed in Virginia, DC, Pennsylvania, and Florida, and I am getting probably 70 to 100 people a week in my licensed areas that I can help, that are just reaching out via email. I have a little landing page on my profile where if someone comments, I kind of scan my comments. But recently TikTok's been like blocking me from responding to everyone, where once you've commented back to a certain number of people, it says you're commenting too much and stops you. So it's kind of weird. But I kind of scan through the comments, see who I can help, send them to my landing page, have them reach out to me. And it has tripled my business easily just in the last 5 months. It's kind of crazy.
Well, and Scott, I want you to share about this because, what made you not put out the normal mortgage content? What inspired you to play the game differently?
It was Gary Vee. Honestly, he always talks about the context of the platform, and LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and how they're all different. And, I realized around the same time that, he's right. Like, for the longest time, I've been posting the same type of content across everything. And there were certain things that performed better on different platforms because of what type of content it was. And I've really started to tap into, the trends and what's actually happening on that platform and performing well, not only with just viral content, but, there's doctors, there's physical therapists, there's different people on there that I saw. There were a few people ahead of me. I think there was a doctor I saw and the dentist who I ran into early on. And I was like, he's tapping into these trends and just spinning it about his craft and what he does. And that was kind of how I was like, this is the direction I need to go with it. And what's cool too is it's trickled over to my Instagram too, where, your IG gets embedded into your profile. And now I kind of regurgitate that content onto Instagram, and it performs well on there too. It's pretty cool to see.
Well, let's break this down. What a lot of people, when they feel like they have to put out mortgage content, are afraid to be funny.
Yeah.
Because they think that they have to be serious, because this is a serious thing. And we are talking about serious money for people. Like it is a serious thing. It's boring, but it's serious, and you can mess it up and people can lose their earnest money deposit. I mean, there's like real ramifications. And yet you infuse a ton of humor into your content, even into some of the videos I've seen now that I started to social stalk you on, like, redoing some of the most popular music videos with like your own music mortgage take on it.
Yeah.
What inspired you to do that as an angle?
It was Gary Vaynerchuk, man. Literally, he talks about authenticity and, letting your hair down and being you. And I push the envelope sometimes on the edginess of it, but for the first 7 years of my career, I was so prim and proper, and I felt like I had to be so professional because, like you said, we're handling the largest investment of people's lives. Yeah. And I kind of came to the realization, and that being authentic and being yourself and kind of just letting your hair down and not having those walls up, it's so much better because the consumer connects with that. They're not necessarily all prim and proper or need that professional take, and actually more people connect. Obviously, there's people that probably get turned off by it and the edginess of the content that I put out, but there's a heck of a lot more that connect with it. So yeah, that's kind of what that comes down to.
I want to echo that, because I don't think enough people are hearing it as authentically as I want them to, that the opportunity really for everybody out there in sales and mortgage, et cetera, is to really be yourself.
Yeah.
To be yourself. If you think, like, I know there's probably some professionals out there who are like, oh, TikTok, I don't connect to it. I don't like it. I've looked at it, but it turns me off. And for every one of those people, there's millions and millions of people on the platform who are super excited to be on the platform and take tons of enjoyment from it. And again, this further validates to everyone that's hung out for multiple segments today, there are so many paths to the consumer, because the consumers are radically different. And you can have the super serious mortgage podcast, audio only, or you could be Scott on TikTok dancing to some song and dropping mortgage facts and getting huge response. Like,
I walked into my kid's daycare this morning, and all the teachers turned around and they're like, "Look who it is, that mortgage guy." And I didn't know that they see me on there. And they're like, "We didn't know you were TikTok famous." I'm like, "This is just crazy." Like,
it's crazy, and I'm encouraging everybody, especially through this collab, to get themselves out authentically onto the platforms that they feel connected to, because this will never happen again.
Never.
Like, this is never going to happen again. There's never going to be another that mortgage guy. Like, you're the guy. And the more you lean into it and take ownership of the space, the more that it just distances from everybody else. And so what's your goal with it? Do you have a goal with it? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my goal at the end of the day is to really monetize my following and my audience. I'd like to grow it to, 1 million to 2 million in the next 2 to 4 years. And I, of course, this last week or so, I've had to kind of pump the brakes a little bit because I've been.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, man. The sleep is just what's getting to me.
It's the worst. I'm
running on 48 ounces of coffee today, so
bro, I feel you.
Leave that there. But no, that's the goal, is really grow it to 2 to maybe 3 million in followers. And right now I'm at 135K, and I'm averaging, probably 200 to 300 emails a day sometimes. And, if I could quadruple that, maybe even more, I kind of want to grow to a point where I can grow my team as well and just kind of hand off these deals and not be so bombarded with all this stuff, because it's a lot to handle. But and then eventually maybe look at like advertising and influencer marketing within the financial sector, with insurance and investment firms and real estate agencies and things of that nature.
Dude, so fun, man. So what was your aha moment? Like, oh crap, this is going to be a thing. Was it that first time you hit, like, was it literally like no views and then you woke up and it was 300,000 views? Was it like that? Did it grow slowly?
It happened pretty quickly. Yeah. I posted it and I think I got like 4,000 or 5,000 views in an hour. And I was like, wow, this one's performing well.
You remember which one it was?
What's that?
You remember what it was?
Yeah, it was literally, I just had my phone and I was walking through my kitchen and I was pointing to text bubbles on Beat on how you can buy a house with no money down.
Perfect.
And it wasn't fancy. It wasn't anything special. And yeah, I was like, why is this performing so well? And it did. And that's the cool part about the platform too, is it doesn't have to be so post-produced. It doesn't have to be so fancy. 95% of the content you see on the platform is shot from people's phones and not even from this side of the camera. Like, you're talking about this side of the camera, and it's not perfect clarity. The resolution isn't perfect, and it doesn't matter. So that's what's kind of cool too.
By the way, one of my favorites was you posted about your old company wanting you back now that you were TikTok famous. I fell out of my chair. I was dying, dude. I was like, that is so freaking funny. It's just so good, dude.
Yeah, there's some content I post. I'm like maybe I should take that down.
I don't know. Live your life. So let's do this. If somebody is like, one of my big encouragements here is not to try to have everybody replicate everybody else. Like, there's been lots of people doing like podcasting and Instagram and Facebook groups, and I don't want to be like, oh shit, I got to copy this person and maybe I can get some of their stuff. But if there is somebody who wants to start going into TikTok, because they think they're like, this is interesting, or their kids are on it, so they're like, I'll be there, but they're on it the whole time. Give everybody the kind of like the quick and dirty advice of how to understand the platform, what to do and not do, how to stay authentic. Share your thoughts.
Yeah, so I would say in the first, like when you start off on the platform, obviously download the app and spend 4 to 5 hours consuming content, going through the For You page, they call it, where, like on Instagram, they have the search bar where you can see content all over the world, viral content that is performing well on the platform. TikTok is similar, where they have a For You page and a following page. Your following page are people that you follow. The For You page is people all across the world that have posted content that's performing well on the platform. And within that content on the For You page, there's different themes, there's different skits, there's a ton of trending songs.
Yep.
And if you can take advantage of those songs, whether it's a play on the words within the song, with your craft and what you're talking about, or whether you're just taking advantage of that song because it's trending and it has 1 million views made to that song and pointing to text bubbles on Beat, I think that's the core of what it is. It's just tapping into those trends and those trending songs. So,
yeah. Thanks for that. It's the 101 on how to speak the same language of the platform you're on. you know, understanding what people are doing on it, and then being able to put your own spin and creativity behind it. And you're a pretty creative dude. I mean, it's hard to come up with content. People freeze up. And then this is, I can imagine them being a little scared of TikTok.
Yeah, it is no joke. Once you hit like 20, 30,000 followers, you start to feel this pressure like, man, I gotta figure something out today. What am I going to do? And that's literally like every night between probably 10 and 1 a.m. I'll sit on my phone, my wife will fall asleep, and I'll just consume content. And, you know, I'll text videos to myself. You know, you can text yourself. I don't know if you have an iPhone. I don't know how Android is, but you can text yourself, text the video to yourself, and then put in a blurb of how you want to spin it or what you want to say or how you want to do it. And I just store that content and just every night, you know, add to it and then pick, you know, what I think is going to perform best. So, and it's always good, like later on at night, you have a couple beers, you can relax and just have fun with it. And that's probably where my most creativity
Exactly. When all the inhibitions are down, you can be like, I'm going to film it about that.
Exactly.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Scott. How is this? What's the lead velocity from the platform? Like, you know, monthly, weekly. What kind of lead velocity are you getting from it?
Right now, I have 3 closings directly from TikTok. I have $1.4 million in buyers under contract right now. I probably have like 30 to 40 buyers on the street shopping, but I literally just got approved yesterday for those other 4 states: Virginia, Florida, DC, and Pennsylvania. And I'm getting probably 30 to 50 people a week in those areas. For Maryland, it was like 5 to 7 leads a week, but the leads were legitimate. I mean, it wasn't, I was converting probably half of them. That's what's crazy about it, is the conversion is great.
It's what's awesome about it, because it just shows that humans are out there looking for help and they're connecting with who they're connecting with on those platforms. And if you're there and like Scott is working hard to put out content, because I mean, how many videos have you done on TikTok? How many TikToks have you done?
I don't even know. I have to go and look.
Tons. Like I was scrolling one day, I'm like, wow, like this guy is, but this is going back to every theme you've heard this whole day, which is hard work is still hard work.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you just go on TikTok and you just all of a sudden become famous and now you get leads every day. No, like Scott, you're investing in it. You're putting out, you're thinking about it at night. You're coming up with content ideas. You're being creative. And then you're executing it at a much bigger pace than other people, I think, are even imagining.
Yeah. And now it's prime time. Like, you have to be posting 3 to 4 times a day. And I've been feeling guilty because the last week I've kind of laid off and been doing.
You're not a baby, bro. Well,
I know, but I don't know. It's tough. I'm doing the best I can, but yeah, you're right. Like, if you're not tapping into it now is the heat of everything. I mean, Gary talks about how far in its infancy it is, and how it is like 3 or 4 times better than what Instagram was in its heyday when it first kicked off, and the organic reach was outrageous. So, you know, if you're not taking advantage of it now, it's a mistake.
It's a mistake. Here's my encouragement for everybody that's hearing Scott and maybe a little intimidated or thinking that the platform's not for them. I would disagree. Everyone thought Facebook wasn't a platform for adults or whatever we are. You know, I don't think that people thought Instagram was just for photos. Mm-hmm. These platforms are places for human connection. That's what they are. And I got to tell you, Scott, I know I said this earlier, but the second I started reading your comments and seeing people going, well, can I buy a house? Well, what about me? What about where I live? Can you refer to someone in California? And I was like, holy crap. This is real. This is happening.
It's crazy. Yeah, I never thought it would, but it's been a good surprise for this year, for sure.
So as we wind down here, what has been your biggest learnings because this is relatively, give everybody some context. When did this really hit for you?
I think my first video went viral in December, and then it took me some time to really figure out and like harness the platform and the context of it. And I think in like January, February timeframe, I really started to gain some steam and started to figure out, you know, what content is performing better and how I have to spin it. I would say the top 3 things I try to focus on, one is authenticity and focusing on things that you like and things you like to do. Yep. Number 2 is providing value, you know, whether it's something about a down payment assistance program or a snippet of the home buying process or something that people need to know, or a home buying hack or something along those lines. And then number 3 is being entertaining to some extent, whether it's humorous or something that's just off the wall or different. You know, you have to grab the viewer's attention and also have that hook within the first 3 to 4 seconds of the video. That platform is so fast paced. People are just scrolling, consuming content rapidly, and you have to capture the viewer's attention quickly. So you have to have that hook. And I would say, those 3 pillars are what I focus on and trying to figure out how I can capture the viewer's attention quickly.
Now, by the way, for everyone that heard that, I think that's universally true across any platform. That hook concept.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a 45-minute to an hour-long podcast, hook in the beginning.
Yeah.
If you're going to do an Instagram video or IGTV video, hook in the beginning. Before it says, hey, do you want to keep watching this? If you haven't hooked somebody, they're not going to keep watching it on Instagram.
Nope.
So, Scott's advice, guys, is universal to any type of content you're going to create. Hook right away.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, dude, first of all, everyone probably just didn't hear that this is happening like in real time. So like Scott got some traction in December. Now we're like 6 months later and this thing is blowing up. So it's like, it's actually happening right now. It's not like he spent 7 years building his TikTok, platform.
Yeah.
It's really happening right now. And my biggest encouragement to all you guys from anything today is just dive the hell in. Dive in.
Yep.
And get messy and make mistakes and do silly dances and see what lands. Because people they want authenticity. I mean, Scott, you're nothing but authentic in there on all your content. Everything you do, I can see you're like what you care about is coming through in the messaging. And so I'm just watching it all happen in real time. And I'm like, this is the truth across all these platforms, guys.
It's definitely
final words of advice, brother, that you would give everybody and we can get you back to your baby?
No, I mean, I would say have patience, test the waters and try different things. It's not going to happen overnight. And it's a process just like anything else. I was listening a little bit to the gentleman you had on before me. And, I started doing video content 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And just like he said, you can go back to my Instagram and watch those videos. They were horrible. And it's literally a process, just like everything else. Professional baseball players don't become professionals overnight. And so you've got to have patience and you've got to put the work in, really.
Dude, go follow this guy on TikTok. You'll learn the game. I'm so excited to see you and sharing freely, Scott, on what you're doing. Thank you for everything you've done so far for the mortgage industry on TikTok. You're representing us well, getting the word out. I love it. And thanks for joining today, dude.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Take care.
Man, dive into the waters, team. Like, how much more proof do you need? Dive into the waters. I don't care where, but go all in and have some fun with your career, with yourself. Don't take yourself so seriously. At the end of all that stuff is unbelievable opportunity if you're willing to play in the space. I hope it brought you value today. Please go find these wonderful human beings online, connect with them, follow them, see what they're doing. Man, I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I'll see you on the internet.